Today, the Resistance event ended within Call of Duty World War II, and again, I'm kind of upset that this is over now because I had a lot of fun with everything that went along with it. Demolition, prop hunts, all that good stuff, and of course the weapons that were dropped as well. The Volkssturmgewehr might be one of my favorite weapons within World War II overall. The Orso and the pistols, as well as the new Resistance division, all kinds of fun stuff was added in within the Resistance event, but it's now over, it's now completely done, and if you guys logged on at any point in time today after 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, at 6 p.m. GMT, your game should have updated to the point of, well, it's no longer there. And so as such, today we're going to be talking about what this update really changed within World War II, and some things you might notice right off the bat. Some might be a little bit more hidden to view, but realistically, there's not all that much compared to what we might have thought. Now, right off the bat, I'm going to say, first and foremost, a lot of this is building off of yesterday, kind of mirroring, but not entirely. But yesterday we talked a lot about some things that we thought would be coming, and some of the things that we could pretty much predict would be happening within World War II when it ended. A lot of that is still the same, a little more ironed out, granted, now that we know the exact details. So if you saw yesterday's video, you probably have a good idea of what some of the things coming in this video are. But jumping right into it, the first thing I want to talk about is actually the update itself. Because unlike Winter Siege, we actually didn't have anything grandiose given to us as a sort of ending piece to the event in which we'd have to do something with. And what I mean by that is we didn't have an actual downloadable patch for World War II. Last time in Winter Siege, we, for whatever reason, had a 1.8 gigabyte update for World War II that we had to download just to get rid of things and a little bit here and there in terms of fixing some bugs and everything like that. But from an engineering perspective, or just maybe logical as is, it was something that made sense to have an update that required a download to add content in, but to take it out, you'd think that you'd lose space in the file size, not add more, right? Well, unfortunately, that was not the case for Winter Siege, but this time around, we only had a short little hotfix playlist update, something that, once again, I wasn't necessarily expecting, but that's how it all went down. So for those of you guys that either logged on and noticed this already, or for those of you guys that might not have logged on just yet, what you have to do is just simply start up your game. You'll go to play online, and it'll say, hey, well, there's an update available, the game has to restart, and then you're good to go. Now, fun little fact, it actually kind of rolled out gradually. I got the update, and I jumped back into World War II, and I had my contracts and orders and everything that were rolled out for this new week and the end of the Resistance events, but whenever I went to initially go and take a look at the modes, they were still all there, and of course the headquarters also was, but then I ended up closing my application and then it refreshed everything, so that might have been something in which it was server end, but I don't know. But regardless, it's now gone, and that means that all the aesthetics within the headquarters are now gone as well. Anything that denoted the Resistance event is now gone. There's no more graffiti, there's no more banners, there's no more cars, there's no more confetti in the firing range. All that fun stuff is now removed. It's back to its barren self of the headquarters that we knew at the very initial launch of World War II, of course populated, since that comparison is being made. But everything is back to normal, and there's unfortunately not as much cool stuff happening within the headquarters itself. I'm still waiting for the flak gun event to be coming around to everybody. Apparently that's still being rolled out, but I haven't heard anything as of recently. That's one thing that can spice up the headquarters if you think it's a little barren, but that is where we're at with the headquarters. Now, as for the other stuff that was changed around, we mentioned it yesterday, but the contracts also were changed out because the contracts as of recently have all been in conjunction with regular game modes, the Resistance division to go hand in hand with the Resistance event, and then also if there was a featured playlist like Gun Game, there were contracts for that as well. So it kind of just went a little bit more thematically with the event itself overall. So now we're back to our regular standard contracts that we had beforehand, but with one added actually, because as we talked about yesterday, we thought that maybe there'd be one with a sort of bribe, but that actually isn't the case. We don't have a brand new bribe just yet via contracts, but we do have one in place of it, which will offer you the ability to get one extra supply drop for sure every single day that you want to complete this. So the contracts now are 20 kills in Team Deathmatch, which costs you 375 credits, and that'll last for 30 minutes, 25 kills in Domination for another 375 credits, and again 30 minutes, 35 kills in Team Deathmatch, which is 225 credits, and this one's a little bit tougher. It's only 10 minutes for this one, so that's the final one of the mode specific, but only 10 minutes, but you may be able to knock this out if you have some good games here. I personally knocked out the 20 kills and 35 kills in one fair sweep, 2 games total to complete that second, say, 10-15 kills of the 35 kill challenge. But if you don't have, say, the greatest start, I can understand where it would then end up being a little tougher for those TDM ones. But as for the actual weapons, we have challenges for the SMGs, rifles, LMGs, and shotguns. events. So all of these require 25 kills and are between 50 to 100 credits and all for 20 minutes. So there's 25 SMG kills for 100 credits, 25 rifle kills for 100 credits, 25 LMG kills for 50 credits, and then 25 shotgun kills as well for 50 credits. So the way that they kind of break down again is the more expensive ones are the easier ones, and then the ones that might challenge you a little bit are a little cheaper. But again, they bring our contracts back to a little bit more of a normal state, if you want to put it that way. And I guess as a little side note, it's not really anything too important, but the old quartermaster is back. So let the memes flow of the thick quartermaster, but regardless, Butcher is gone, he's out of there. But in terms of other things regarding the quartermaster, well, the other thing is that the resistance collections are now locked. So if you guys don't have any of those, unfortunately, if it plays out like how it was beforehand and there's no fix for it on the horizon, everything available for that, even if you complete the collections, will still not grant you those items as the rewards. So if you guys are, say, close to completing the Reichs Revolver, the Enfield, even if you end up afterwards getting some random items from the Resistance collections in regular supply drops, they unfortunately will not net you those final weapons as the collection reward. That's something that I still think is an incredibly bad way to run this system, and I really hope that there is a fix that comes out in the near future that allows these winter collection items and these Resistance items to fully complete and unlock those rewards that they are working towards, because there are still some items that I really want, and I know that a lot of you guys probably want as well. I didn't get either of the pistols, and I really held off on them because, well, having to buy outright in terms of armory credits without having the necessary pieces to the puzzle in which you can chip away more at, well, it just didn't seem worth it to me. So therefore, even with the Resistance event, I missed out on a lot, and I won't be able to go back and get those pieces as it stands right now. So that's the unfortunate part, and again, I really hope there is a fix sometime on the horizon for this, because I really think that while we can still get these items out of supply drops, I think we should be able to have the chance of completing the collections and getting the rewards as a result. So maybe you guys see it differently, maybe not, but regardless, that's not the focus here of this. Moving over into the other stuff, we ended up having, once again, the featured playlist changed around a little bit. We had all sorts of things for prop hunt, bomb mosh pits, we had all the Resistance stuff, and so those are all changed around now. We still have the Resistance playlist, and those will be coming very soon to Xbox One and PC as well, with the DLC launching in, what is it, 2 days now at this point? And then we also have the return of Carrington 24/7, or I guess really didn't go anywhere, but it's not competing for space amongst a few other featured playlists. So those are the featured playlists, but really, other than that, there's not much that was changed, and there really wasn't all that much added as well, which is the unfortunate part. There's only 3 additions that I know of at the very moment. One dealing with Major Howard, one dealing with the Quartermaster, and one dealing with zombies. So let's go at it in that sequential order here. The first thing with Major Howard was a brand new special order in which you can end up getting a 2x heroic weapon bribe for 100 games played, or completed rather, in multiplayer. Don't get me wrong, that's absolutely awesome and a great bribe, but as for one of 3 additions to the game, I'm not entirely sure it's exactly what I was hoping for. Now, it's the same thing, but also on the front of the Quartermaster. A new COD point bundle has been added in as well, in which it gives you 10 supply drops, and then that 2x heroic weapon bribe for 3,000 COD points. Each bribe is supposedly, for both of these, dupe protected, in which you won't get any duplicates with the heroic weapons, but the other 2 items out of that supply drop are not dupe protected for those bribes. However, the one thing that I have been seeing is some issues in which people are still getting duplicates for it, to which the follow-up that I've seen is that it's being looked into. So if you are looking to get one of these, of course, if you guys are doing it via the orders, it's gonna take some time, but if you guys are looking to buy it, firstly, that's not my thing, so if you guys wanna do that, that's totally cool, but I'm not advocating that, don't take it that way. But if you are going to buy them, maybe hold off for a little bit, because you have 6 days until this refreshes, and if it can save you from wasting a little bit of your money by, say, getting a dupe today versus a non-dupe in 2-3 days, then I think it's definitely worth it. And you can only get 2 in total, so it's not like you're going to have to really worry about spacing out each purchase per se, if that's something that people do. But regardless, again, not entirely sure how I feel about these being 2 of 3 additions. And then the final thing that was added in, or I guess changed about, was a zombie-specific change in which it changed the amount of time for health regeneration to be a little bit quicker. So it helps out in more pinch situations than anything else, but health regeneration has been buffed for zombies. Now, the biggest question coming out of this: where is Domination XL and where are paint jobs? Because admittedly, this was probably the next and only time I saw on the immediate horizon which we could have probably anticipated it coming. It was kind of like those things where the Resistance event were kind of guide rails or training wheels in a sense, in which we had some sort of bearing going one direction. But now that the event is over, it's kind of like we are fish from a river going into the ocean. There's nothing that really sets it apart from being something we can anticipate but rather it can just come pretty much any time. So your guess is seriously at this point in time as good as mine. I thought maybe we'd end up getting something based off of previous assumptions and then different educated guesses in terms of when we can pretty much predict updates coming. But as it stands right now, dude, I have absolutely no idea, which is unfortunate, frustrating, and I guess a whole other different mix of things that you can say about it, but it is what it is. I really am hoping that these come soon, especially paint jobs, man. I so badly want some custom camos. And don't get me wrong, I really do appreciate the artwork in terms of camos, but I'm one of those people that I'm not the biggest fan of the base camos for each weapon. When we end up getting to, say, those ones after the one-shots and after the headshots, those are kind of cool, but still, I just want something that I can go, man, that is absolutely awesome. I want to put that on every single weapon. None of the camos in the game right now really do that for me. Regardless, that's something that I'm really looking forward to, and of course, Domination XL as well. We've been told about this coming soon for a month, maybe month and a half now at this point in time, and I am really just hoping it comes soon. But again, your guess is as good as mine, unfortunately, so that's really it. That's everything that changed here with this update. That's what this update for World War II really did, if you guys were interested. So that's where we're gonna wrap it up. Let me know your thoughts down there in the comment section down below. Are you guys disappointed that we still don't have paint jobs of Domination XL, and do you agree that this seemed like the only real logical time in the relative future that it could come that we'd have, say, a potential update given to us? And again, I still want to know why we had this tease of the Resistance events and Domination XL, but we still haven't seen it. I don't know, man. Love to get your thoughts down there in the comment section down below. We can start a whole dialogue on this, but nonetheless, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, make sure you drop a like down below. And of course, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss a single thing regarding World War II, any best class setups, tips, tricks, news, information, updates, all that good stuff. We got you covered here up on the channel, so if any of it interests you, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a single thing. If you guys want to follow me over on Twitter, that's the best place to get connected outside of YouTube. Practically live on Twitter, so if you guys want to strike up a conversation, ask me a question, whatever it may be, link is down there in the description below. And finally, if you guys want to follow me over on Instagram, I'm trying to get a little more active over there as well, so if you guys want to follow, feel free to. That link is as well in the description below. But thank you guys all so much for watching. I'll see you guys later. Mine is an espresso. Take care and peace.